Finally, my third challenge related to students' participation and maybe boredom, maybe they're tired. How can we manage this in the classroom? Well, what I decided to do for this challenge was focus on learner needs and adapt the plan. That beautiful plan that I spent 1 hour writing, I decided to spend less time on doing that and more time exploring what students need. So, what did I do? I decided I was going to foster curiosity. In order to foster curiosity and explore ideas and questions that students brought to the lesson, I needed space in my lesson plan. As teachers, we often write our lesson plan and we don't have any room for anything else. We're going to go to this task, contextualization, to language presentation, to practice, feedback, and there's no space for anything else. I decided that less is more, as you could tell from my session title, and I was going to make space for what students have to bring to the class. And I was going to help them bring ideas to the class as well. So that was one thing I did. Also, I decided I wanted to make learning visible. Sometimes with our students, especially teenagers, they might not even see that they're improving and developing. So I wanted to make it very concrete, not only celebrate, not just say great job, but give examples as to how they have done a great job and why. So with that in mind, I came up with, this is the kind of feedback that I started to give, let me say. And what I would do in my planning stage is I would think, I'm going to give some feedback here. I'm going to give some feedback here. How am I going to do that? And here are 3 examples of how I sometimes give feedback to students. First one, I noticed that you used a few of the collocations we studied before. Can anyone recall one that was used? You see, what I'm now having students do is notice what their other classmates are producing, or even themselves, having them reflect on what they spoke about, so that they can see and notice that they were using the collocations that I wanted them to use. And then you get evidence because they're giving me the evidence. I'm not giving them evidence, they're giving it to me, which can be really useful. Remember the last time we talked about giving more detail? This time you spoke for 2 minutes. Great job. This is really important because what I've done is I've shown them not just within a lesson, but from previous lessons. Maybe we did a task where they had to talk for extended periods, and now I'm giving feedback because they were able to improve on that. But I have to take notes and keep this with me so that I'm able to give this kind of feedback later on. Finally, can my note takers tell me 3 interesting phrases you heard in your group conversation? I always, when I put students in groups and ask them to have a conversation, I have roles for the groups. So I have a timekeeper. I have someone who takes notes of either interesting language or interesting ideas that they're going to share with the rest of the class. And I, of course, change those roles as we go along. So again, the students are giving me the evidence. I'm not giving them the evidence, which is really powerful. I'm putting the learning in their hands and I'm basically facilitating this process. So these are ways that you can celebrate students' abilities and success, giving them a boost of confidence, but you're putting them in control of that. So I hope that helps. And of course, you can do it in different ways. These are just 3 examples for you today. Finally, I have some takeaways that I would like to share with you. Less is more. That's very important because it's the name of this session. See how you can make space in your lesson plan for what's to come. You may need to give feedback on things you don't know you need to give feedback. We call this responsive teaching. So yes, you have your lesson plan, but you also need to respond to what's happening on the day in that lesson and make sure you have space for that in your planning stage. Second point, adapting over creating. Why spend an hour creating a worksheet that's probably no better than the activity in the book or another worksheet that you could find easily online, or maybe artificial intelligence could create nowadays? Why not think about how you would adapt it for your students in your context, rather than spending hours creating new activities that probably already exist somewhere else? Finally, see if you can fit your plan on a Post-it note. This will help you to spend less time in your planning. Be curious and encourage curiosity. If we want our students to be curious and ask questions, we have to show them that that's possible. So we have to be curious about them, and that's much more likely to foster curiosity in our students. And finally, I encourage you to celebrate the small wins, giving evidence. So it's not just words, you're giving evidence to show that students have been improving, and that will give them the boost of confidence. These were my takeaways, and I hope that some of them can help you with your challenges in your context. Thank you so much for your time, everyone. And here is my reference list if you'd like to take a look for yourselves. Thank you.